to see what the postman brought today.
Barnes insists on delivering the books to our door, even though we could easily walk
bit
to his shop.
uninteresting.
That's good service. The dustbin is yours for the digging, Mr. Holmes.
You were mistaken, Dr. Watson. The paper was indeed dirtied, but not how you imply. See, Watson, the conspiracy is real. Someone tried to poison me.
Poison? You? That's
Here, the
madness.
strand. Get.
What about Mr. Holmes' murder? Yes, Barnes says it's Clark's belief, says it's Frogwares.
Not every pawn knows it's part of a game.
Barnes doesn't seem like himself. Why is he acting this way?
You're asking the right questions, Doctor. Let's find a way to coax him out. In the language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are an improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible. The finest view London has to offer.
The weather is dreary, isn't it? To be fair, my flowers...
Encouraging people to stop and smell the roses?
Our national emblem. God save the
It must
Queen.
take patience and care to produce a bloom so beautiful.
I imagine so. I merely sell them.
I was... perhaps...
Do not
No.
despair, Mr. Holmes.
No.
Even the best
Mr.
of us make mistakes. We better tell Mr. Barnes what we've learned.
Miss... Come, Dr. Watson. Let us put this matter behind us.
Not much further now.
A shoe print, roughly size 11, with a worn-out sole. These are all chewing tobacco. Someone knelt here. The amount of chewing tobacco suggests they were waiting a while.
Amazing, Mr. Holmes. To read the ground like an open book.
This lock is quite unusual. It appears that the key should be bent to the right. Someone moved a cart to this spot and then... Impressive. The sack of grain retained the shape of an impact. Someone hit their head here. A scrap of Hessian. These were sturdy boxes. It would have required a serious blow to break them. No air coming through it. The ashes are long since cold. Mutton chops, the remains of a meal.
I'll never forget that smell after my time in Afghanistan. That's an opioid, Mr. Holmes, a narcotic.
Clothes made of Hessian. Surveilling from afar, the intruder waited for a window of opportunity. When Kimahir went to sleep, the man crept up to the shack and slipped narcotics down the chimney pipe, then blocked it with a cloth. Kimahir inhaled the sedative and fell into a deep sleep. The intruder tried to move him, but the man was heavier than expected. The intruder fell on the sack and dropped his spyglass. In order to transport the servant, he had to use the cart. The final challenge was opening the garden door. Luckily for our intruder, Kimahir had the key in his shack.
Remarkable. It makes total sense.
Something but
Sturdy rope, professionally tied in a Portuguese bowline. This knot is off wheel. Pass along the way, Kimahir's cart again.
Well, it's odorless, but from the way it absorbs water, I'd say saltpeter.
Then we're in agreement. Well done. The saltpeter accident. Doctor, do you recall?
The Port of London, of course. The footwear, the spyglass.
Indeed. We shall need to take a cab there.
Doctor, a man is very sick here.
It sounds as though those people will need my help.
The coffee won't go away and the doctor's too pricey.
Don't go.
Dalton swears she saw ghosts in warehouse 2. The coppers even went up.
Not in the... What are you on about?
Oh, hardly a reputable establishment.
I've seen worse. Are you...
Doesn't look like anything to me. Have you been drinking?
We must...
What?
Why... Strange symbols. I don't recognize them. 5 shillings. That won't go far.
Really, Holmes, this ought to be beneath you.
As my brother would say, it is for the greater good. Well oiled and well maintained. Fit for a crank. A hidden passage, just as I expected. Wait, what's happening? place. Where am I? Phew. I didn't die. My heart, be calm. This cannot have been under the port of London all along. Is it an illusion? Now I am... It's harder to breathe here. Head is already spinning. When will this end? Oh, that is truly
Gog. What is it, Holmes?
Watson!
Holmes, where are you?
These clothes were crudely cut off someone. An American, judging by the style. Fine rope work. Cut by a finer blade. His abdomen is severely bloated. Cyanosis of the lips, marks on the neck. This man was strangled. It seems made for simple experiments. I wager they could not afford a... At least 24 pendants, all identical and made of tin. I'm... Looks like the scribbling of madmen. A small bloodstain, but not serious. The strength, it were deep scratches left in a frenzy. Dumpra, a staple of lecturemen's attire in Nepal. These clothes are missing buttons. They were forcefully removed. gathered from dozens of people at the very least. Many people were brought to this place. Their abductors stripped off their clothes and discarded them in a pile. The prisoners were kept in a soporific trance by the use of narcotics. A few tried to resist, but alas, in vain. After a few days, everyone was stuffed in a crate and sent elsewhere. Only one captive was left behind. He was strangled to death on this altar. Dr. Watt.
Yeah. What's in?
Darn. No way I can get past him without being noticed. There's the guest room. I wonder if Watson was able to speak to Gygax. Locked. I suppose the reception will be gone. What?
My heart is pierced by Cupid. I disdain all glittering gold. There is nothing can console me but my jolly sailor bold.
Tubes of varying diameters. Interesting. Looks like it's still operational. Cooking grease. Is this the kitchen dumbwaiter?
I'm sure I heard something.
This should be enough to avoid unwanted attention, at least from a distance.
Go!
So this is how they kept the prisoners docile and harmless. The stamp on this crate confirms it came from America. That's quite a distance to travel. These are the same. I doubt that one could survive such a journey with this little water. Dirt and sweat. They were locked in here for days, judging by the smell. The kidnappers even provided airflow. How generous. This trip was prolonged and perilous. A bottle this sturdy doesn't break by accident. Substantial blood loss. One poor soul found another way out. The doors can be opened for deliveries. The carriages were backed through these doors, and they began to unload their cargo in secret. Next, the crates were opened, freeing their passengers. Not everyone survived the journey. The dirty, exhausted, and dehydrated prisoners were then herded into cells. But all the cells are now empty, and I have not located a morgue. Time to find Hell's Door. Scratches. Something has been moved through here. There seems to be a locking mechanism. The whole thing must be a door. How is she hiding?
This must be...
The light of the abyss is the light from the abyss. Ugh. Get out of my head. A hydraulic elevator? How ingenious. No traces of blood on her clothes. Must have got on her white overcoat. The pencil is buried deep all the way to the brain. Instant death. The patients here wear the same robes.
We'd better inform the local police about this.
You're right, Watson. But first, we need to determine where our case goes next.
Good Lord, what have you done? That's my stuff.
I'm sorry, mister.
Huh? Who?
Frank Barnaby, most likely a local.
And do you think Mr. Barnaby would be happy to share his invitation?
Let us first find him, then we can see if he is the generous type.
How marvelous, Holmes. A city within a city.
Indeed. Rather unassuming for a jewelry store.
Damn, he at it again. Barnaby still owes you. If he can't pay in greenbacks, he'll pay in blood.
Is this familiar to you?
Doesn't remind me of anything. Someone else might help you better, sir.
May I ask for your assistance?
I'm bone tired, but yeah, I'll help you.
This place. There's a Spartan charm, does it not?
It does. My soul will always yearn for London's gloom, but Barnaby, unconscious but with his eyes open. Look, Watson, the two of you are just alike.
Oh, great. So I look like a haggard alcoholic.
Eureka!
What have you got?
An idea. First, we'll need Mr. Barnaby's
America,
clothes.
Holmes. Holmes.
Watson,
Holmes, must we really indulge in this farce?
it worked in Switzerland, didn't it?
Sure, if you redefine the word worked.
Where's the money, Barnaby?
I'll wait here so as not to arouse suspicion.
Heavens. I never seen gems so big.
I simply must have...
The sheriff saw right through me. He knew who I was from the start. Extorted me for every coin I had.
Bah, all that matters is what you learned about the gems.
I shan't discuss it while still wearing that blighter's cloak.
This Mr. Barnaby is proving rather useful. Perhaps you're not so different after all.
One more word, Holmes, and I'll hand you over to the sheriff.
Sorry, was that John talking or Frank?
Go annoy someone else while I visit the nymph.
Ah, forgive me, Watson. The difference is plain as day. What a remarkable transformation from Barnaby.
If we're critiquing wardrobes, Holmes, maybe you can explain why you used to roll just one sleeve up. Did you get bored halfway through?
I'm gonna die. Gonna die.
Are you able to help me?
I've heard about that. Let me tell you.
You know, Watson, the opulent mansions and stifling heat remind me of my time in the Mediterranean.
Corona does sound rather magical. Do you think you shall ever return?
I don't know. That place was home to some of my greatest memories and some of my lowest moments. Look. I rather wish my lockpicks had not been lost in the river.
Along with all our clothes, books, tea.
This... These fingers were severed with a single clean stroke. Look, Watson, animal prints. I wonder what kind.
Do you smell that, Holmes? Something bad happened here.
I know. Be prepared for anything. A few drops of blood, but not from a mortal wound. Note the blade, Watson.
A curved dagger, probably of Persian or Indian origin. 9 or 10 inches, I'd say.
Watson, would you please lend me your medical expertise?
I'll do my best.
Make it quick. There's no time to waste.
His corneas are already clouded. A deep stab reached the man's heart. Clean edges suggest a sharp blade, but the wound is too wide for an ordinary knife. The hand can bend freely. Rigor mortis has passed. Hay on his trousers suggests a gardener or groom. This man has been dead for a week. The result of a sharp object piercing his heart.
You are mostly right. But someone was bleeding, but it doesn't look lethal. Burnt papers, now completely unreadable. Someone smaller walked over these boot prints. The trail of wax leads to the door. The candle was burning when it fell. I will need your help one more time, Doctor.
An enormous blow shattered her ribcage. An enormous blow shattered her ribcage. Blooded, broken nails. The poor woman tried to put up a fight. A wound like this could only be dealt by a man of incredible strength.
And cruelty. Tea for two. An odd glimpse of normalcy amid the horror. A used kitchen towel. An intruder entered through the back door at night, leaving mud traces in the hallway. Without being noticed, they picked up a candlestick and struck the man in the chair from behind. In the kitchen, 2 people were drinking tea, the workman and cook. They were startled by the noise of body and went to investigate the parlor. The workman tried to subdue the intruder, but was stabbed by the attacker's knife. Judging by the wound, it was a curved blade. The cook panicked and fled back to the kitchen. The intruder followed, but since their blade was stuck in the workman, they used the meat cleaver on the table to kill her. Someone smaller arrived and discovered the carnage. They dropped the candlestick in horror and ran for safety to a room down the hallway. Meanwhile, the intruder returned to his first victim and dragged their stunned body away from the fireplace and out into the garden. Davy, please open the door.
After all this, Holmes, I doubt the young man would open the door to a stranger. Ligature marks on her neck. There'll be a bruise, but she should be okay.
Doctor? Watson, speak to me. How is she? Let's take a closer look. These should come in.
innocent slaughtered, a woman lynched, a boy forever traumatized. I fear we've crossed the Rubicon, Holmes.
Davy is resilient, much like Eula. They will overcome this.
You're right, but I worry this portends far worse for us. What have we got ourselves into, Holmes?
John,
It...
aren't... What?
Me...
If...
Hello.
Holmes, do you believe the sheriff? That we won't escape?
One cannot be hurt by superstitions.
Look, Holmes, fireflies!
You're rowing like a professional, Watson.
University of London Boat Club. Silver medalist, 1874. What was that, Holmes?
Whatever, or whoever it was, we should ready ourselves. Am I hearing drums?
Drums in the bayou? Holmes, I think I heard something swim underneath our boat.
Probably just a rotten log.
Did you hear that, Holmes? What do you see?
A shadow. Nothing more.
If you told me when I binned your paper that we'd end up fleeing the law in a rowboat through the Louisiana Bayou...
I dare say you would have hardly been surprised. The air is getting thicker, almost suffocating.
The stench of death. All too familiar now.
Watson, stay calm, but be quick. An alligator has noticed us. That's nature, Watson. Let's try not to annoy them. That pier looks promising. Over there, Watson.
We're approaching the heart of darkness. This place gives me the shivers, despite the muggy night.
Smell of burning flesh, just horrific.
Keep away from it, focus on our task,
The
so we may
hand-tied heel
soon
was
leave all this
bleeding in
behind.
4 places. This had to have been both ends of the rope were cut cleanly. It's a lot of blood, but probably not enough to be fatal. The captive was dragged through hell. The victim's left hand clawed at the soil. The bloody handprint on this stone lacks 4 fingers. Sunken heels, the result of dragging a heavy body. The tracks lead behind the stone. Only this indentation was spared from blood. Blood was poured over someone, leaving a gruesome silhouette. Bowls filled with blood. The initials EA are embroidered with silk thread. Prisoner's clothes tossed aside. The wood, a heavy weight, scored impressions in the ground 1 inch deep. Days old and rotten. Damp and mouldy hay. The prisoners were kept like animals, slowly deteriorating under the gruesome treatment. Arneson was held captive in this cage until his abductors tied him to a cross and dragged him to the bonfire. Arneson was left hanging here for a while before being freed and led to the altar. At the altar, Arneson's captors performed a ritual on him and poured blood over his head. With Arneson now prepared, he was escorted to the sealed entrance. They used the mechanism with an indentation to open the passage. Heavy and covered in blood.
I should be glad, brother. Damn it. Something is wrong with my lantern. Give me a minute.
I won't wait for you. I'm going in. What's happening? Deja vu, and not in a pleasant way. And now, axes? What on earth for? Now it is glowing. Why? There's that glow again. I hope that was all. I can't take any more.
At last, the lantern's working again. Holmes, I'm coming. Oh.
The unknown.
I should please tell me there are no wheels inside, Anderson. Blunt trauma to the cranium, dilated pupils, lips moving without a sound. Severed fingers, the wounds are inflamed. Cold sweat. 2, no, 3 ribs fractured. Pulse is racing, 110 beats a minute. Arneson is delirious after all he's endured. We can't get him to the boat in a state like that. It's dangerous to us and him. Odorless, watery, and hard to identify. Pharmacopoeia. This is Dwale, induces sleep and relaxation. A gluey decoction. The smell is herby but sharp. It appears Salvia divinorum, provokes visual hallucinations.
I need some fresh air.
Yes, please go. I'll be right behind you with Arneson. Perhaps you can prepare the boat.
Another sinking near Scotland, by the strand for the core. Thank you, sir.
It
Go!
Holmes, look! There's a body here. Not
Body is
just
the
any
soft
body,
touch.
it's
He
Ashman.
died recently.
Scratches, bruises, and stabs, all self-inflicted. Oh, his eyes are gouged out. The infamous curved dagger. It's tied firmly to his hand. A broken chain, something was attached to the end.
His body succumbed to all those wounds.
This branch was recently broken. The wood is still green. A human-sized imprint. Someone fell on their back. Whatever Ashmat had secured to his chain, he lost it here.
What drove him to this dreadful act?
I fear we are about to see for ourselves. Ouroboros, a snake eating itself. An ancient symbol of eternal, fresh marks, something scraped along the stone. This door requires a very specific key, and we already have it. This vessel is covered in dried blood.
Oh, I get it. We need fresh blood. And no, I'm not volunteering.
Fear not. I think Ashmat can help. Do you have any...
Fine, take my flask.
Something in the caves drove Ashmat mad. The lever doesn't want to stay on its own. Holmes! Ah! We're trapped! Now what?
Look around. There must be something we can use. Those holes seem to have a purpose, but I won't risk my arm to find out what. Be ready for anything, Watson. It's all right, Watson. It's merely a chest with coins and a dagger, made of obsidian by the looks of it. Look around. Use these with care. Let us be the first adventurers to raid a tomb without destroying it. Terrific. It's calling me, John. I cannot bear it any longer.
Holmes!
Help me.
Holmes! Speak up! Keep talking! Careful, Holmes. I thought that I'd seen horrors during the war, but this is complete madness.
They are all entranced, captivated by the light of the lens.
Sherlock, don't touch it. We still don't know what it is capable of.
The base appears to rotate.
Hands off, Holmes. We have no idea of its purpose.
They modified the gallery and watchroom. It seems they have placed beam emitters all over the main gallery. Khalid lenses are placed inside the lantern room. What? Listen, I'll redraw this blueprint.
It's completely broken. Something is missing. Interesting. This could prove useful.